News 3 WSIL. Here's what's happening right now.
Good Wednesday morning. Tracking more rain. I'll tell you when the wet weather moves out. Coming up.
Making news headlines, new details have emerged in the massive I-57 crash that shut down the interstate for nearly 24 hours last week.
Supreme Court nominee Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson gearing up for a final day of confirmation hearings. I'm Alex Verche in Washington. I'll have a preview coming up.
Plus, violent crime continues to rise in Carbondale. Why city leaders are hopeful additional cameras will help reduce that crime.
We've got you covered from WSIL News 3 this morning.
Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, March 23rd. I'm Dave Davis.
And I'm Evie Allen. We're so happy you decided to be with us this morning. Storm Track 3 Chief Meteorologist Nick Housen also here. Is there more rain on the way? I think is the big question.
There is, and some places already seeing it. Make sure you've got the umbrella handy and prepare for some cooler temperatures as well, especially coming up this afternoon. Checking in this morning, we've got some rain continuing to fall across parts of southern Illinois, Mount Vernon southward to Benton, West Frankfort. Also a couple showers moving through now on the west side of Marion, and those also extending southward just west of Goreville. Tracking a few showers, everything pretty much tracking to the north and northeast. As we go throughout the day today, not as much heavy, steady rain as we saw yesterday, but hit and miss showers lingering around. This morning we're in the mid-50s. We'll see temperatures begin to fall this afternoon. We'll drop back in the upper 40s. Also, it's going to be pretty breezy. Gusts 25 to 30 miles per hour. We're tracking more cool, damp weather into Thursday. I'll tell you when the rain comes to an end and the potential for frost showing up in our forecasts coming up.
Well, we begin this hour in Carbondale, where city council members stayed up late to hear from residents about the potential of using additional police surveillance systems.
That's right, and this was a long meeting last night for them. Now, in 2018, cameras were installed along Illinois Avenue in public parking spaces. Brooke Slyer joins us now in studio with what could happen next there, Brooke.
Well, Evie and Dave, the city council meeting lasted more than 4 hours before council members decided to let residents share their thoughts on the surveillance systems. They wanted to let dozens of participants who stayed the course of the meeting to have their opportunity for public comment, but only a few spoke out. So here's a breakdown of what the topic is all about. According to the city, overall, crime has been going down in Carbondale over the past few years, but there's been an increase in violent crime since 2019, including deadly shootings. Those have been concentrated west of University Avenue, adjacent to the SIU campus. To give a police presence in that area, the city council is considering a few different types of surveillance systems, such as neighborhood video surveillance, mobile video surveillance, or automated license plate readers. And those range in cost from $2,500 to $30,000. One resident shared her opinion about the potential tools.
I think cameras are once again a huge disconnect from the city of Carbondale to solve problems.
The city has found the cameras already installed on Illinois Avenue have not made violent crimes go down, but have helped in their investigations in solving those crimes. The city council decided to consider the public comments and hold another discussion at a future meeting. Reporting in studio, Brooke Slyer, News 3.
All right, thanks for that, Brooke. Well, today is the final day for questioning for Supreme Court nominee Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Now, some Republicans are calling her soft on crime and accuse her of being a liberal activist. ABC's Alex Verche has more.
This morning, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson preparing for a final day in the hot seat, defending her record to Republicans who claim she's soft on crime.
As someone who has had family members on patrol and in the line of fire, I care deeply about public safety.
Judge Jackson also responded directly to misleading accusations that she's let child porn offenders off the hook.
Nothing could be further from the truth.
Republican Mitt Romney telling the Washington Post the attacks on Judge Jackson's sentencing record are off course. His colleagues also asking a wide range of probing questions, accusing her of calling former President George W. Bush a war criminal during her time as a public defender.
So to be clear, there was no time where you called President Bush or Secretary Rumsfeld a, quote, war criminal, close quote. Did you want
Correct,
to respond?
Senator.
And on abortion rights, she said this.
Roe and Casey are the settled law of the Supreme Court.
And Senator Ted Cruz questioning the judge on the political issue of critical race theory.
It views every conflict as a racial conflict. Do you think that's an accurate way of viewing society?
Senator, I don't think so, but I've never studied critical race theory and I've never used it.
Cruz then asking Jackson about one children's book after another. The judge exasperated.
Senator, I have not reviewed any of those books, any of those ideas. They don't come up in my work as a judge, which I'm respectfully here to address.
Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, who is on the Judiciary Committee, says that he believes Judge Jackson is weathering these hearings extremely well. But still, these might just be a formality because Democrats don't need any Republican votes to push Judge Jackson through. Alex Brachet, ABC News, Washington.
Well, President Joe Biden is traveling to Brussels, Belgium today to meet with NATO leaders to address the war in Ukraine. The White House says the president will focus on helping Ukrainians who are trapped in the city of Mariupol. The United Nations says more than 3.5 million refugees have fled to neighboring countries.
I've got elderly parents and 4 pets that I will not leave. Thanks to good people and people who helped, it became possible.
President Biden is also expected to impose more sanctions on Russia. Well, now we turn to a News 3 follow-up. Investigators are working to figure out what caused the deadly pileup on I-57. Now, it happened last Thursday and killed 5 people and involved more than 30 vehicles. Several people we talked to say weather played a factor. Dave has a breakdown of that crash. Dave?
That's right. They've been going over this with a fine-tooth comb, and quite a bit of information's come out. In fact, the Missouri State Highway Patrol have confirmed that the pileup was a chain reaction of 3 separate crashes, all starting around 8 last Thursday morning. I want you to take a look at this. Here is the front of the crash right now. According to the crash report, the first crash started in the southbound lane that you see right there on the bottom left screen. And then the second crash to the right and the other side. And then the third one, the largest crash, happened shortly after that in the southbound lane as a result of the first crash here. Now, this is an initial crash that started the pileup. It happened near the 13.4 mile marker in Charleston, Missouri. The MSHP's report says the semi was rear-ended by another semi, and this crash caused a chain reaction involving 15 other vehicles. Now, 2 semi drivers suffered serious injuries, and 2 people from Carterville and Cairo were both taken to a medical center in Sykeston for minor injuries. Now, I want to take a look at the second crash right here. This one happening in the northbound lane. As you can see right there, 3 vehicles were involved in that crash, which was caused by the southbound pileup. Obviously, people probably slowing down through that area. A Texas man was pronounced dead at that scene, and a Poplar Bluff resident suffered serious injuries and was flown to St. Louis for treatment. Now we want to focus here on the third crash. Take a look at this right here. Obviously a large fire involved in this crash. It occurred at the 13.6 mile marker, involved 13 vehicles in total. It started when the driver of a Volvo semi-truck struck the back end of another Volvo semi-truck, and this also causing a chain reaction of crashes involving 5 semis altogether and 8 other vehicles. 6 people suffered serious injuries, 2 received minor injuries, and 3 drivers and a passenger were killed in this crash. Now, the crash had a total of 33 vehicles involved, 15 injuries and 5 deaths, quite large. Witnesses of the crash say a thick layer of fog did play a role in this, but the Missouri State Highway Patrol says they haven't confirmed this yet with the National Weather Service. This is what they are working on right now, trying to verify those claims. Eddie.
Switching gears now, West Frankfort Community Park goers will soon be seeing more big changes. City leaders made several improvements to the area already, including new fencing, gates, gravel, and sidewalk repairs. Now, the park director says the changes will improve safety for its visitors. That includes making sure there's plenty of lighting even after the sun goes down.
The park is now lit up like a little city. The people feel a lot more comfortable. And our intentions are to continually improve the outside of the park as well as the inside for the aquatics department and the weight room that we have indoors.
Now, more improvements, of course, are on the way, including more playground equipment and plans for a dog park. The park is located just off East Cleveland Street, right off Route 37. But is today a good day to be out in the park?
Probably not. In fact, really encourage folks to find some plans to do indoors here over the next couple of days. If you would have talked to me on Monday, we were drier than average so far for the month of March. Not the case after yesterday. In fact, nearly a half an inch now above average, and we're going to add to that total as we go throughout the day today. Expecting more wet weather. We are tracking a very slow-moving storm system, some scattered showers likely, and some much colder air set to filter in. There's even a chance for frost in our forecast. I have the latest on when to expect that coming up.
It's a day that I most definitely will not forget being here, and I will live with it forever.
Caught on camera, heroic efforts from a substitute teacher as she saves a Union County grade schooler's life.